Hey, what's up, Hometown? Welcome back to another update. So, what do we got going on here today? Well, what happened? Holy moly. So, as suggested in yesterday's update, we got a new week opening gap to the upside and gapped up and hit our major buy side liquidity pool. How cool is that? So bottom call here, higher low call in here, and target has been acquired. And this is all public, not cherry picked, not left side of the chart, hindsight, cherry picked stuff. This is all forecasted and laid out to you beforehand. Now, some of my private people were wondering about higher time frame arrays, and that's what we're going to be focused on. And it's one of the main boats that basically I missed out on it for a while, but eventually you'll see how this is possible. So obviously this draws some concern. There is a small void in liquidity there. There's a tiny tail on that candle. It's bounced off of this guy here and has made a phenomenal run up so far. So I just want to see. Yeah, right there. Wow, beautiful. I mean, the bottom could be in, and we could just keep trending. We've got CPI tomorrow, which we pumped for. Look, usually when you pump in to CPI, it's usually bearish, but I'm now that the price run here has materialized, this is where I lose my edge. And if you're new with me, that might seem like a weakness to you, or if you're new to trading, but I'm telling you, it's a superpower that you've never even heard about before. Understanding when your edge fades and how to sit out of the market is unmeasurable by any standards today. So looking, I think I was mentioning just up into here, maybe we take this and not this and trade down a bit and then come back up. I can't tell you. And it's a striking difference from dumping into a discount and saying, okay, bottom's in, let's go travel up and maybe get an external range run out here. It's easy to do down here. And that might be backwards because you might see this as a sell-off. But once it's showing its hand to me, it's way easier to call a bottom and aim for targets above than it is to start longing breakouts, because this is what retail's doing right now. You got to understand the logic of what just happened here. This bear flag here had materialized a very beautiful run to the downside. So it's not that patterns don't work. It's the problem is people don't pay themselves. Now, I'm just going to cherry pick this candle here just for the example. I just want to say targets acquired, even though it could have been from the whole pull. Once the target's acquired, it's not so much that the pattern didn't work out, because clearly it did. So what's the problem? Well, people don't pay themselves and they leave themselves exposed. And that's why it was so easy to say, hey, we're likely coming up here now, because this is where the stops are. So now that this bear flag has been taken and the retail minded swing trader has been taken out of the market. That not only takes out the shorts, but it also induces longs into engaging on a breakout. So do we come all the way down to fill this void? Maybe. Is that the bottom and we just keep freaking out? That's on the table. I actually can't tell you. I don't know. For once, I don't know. And it's not for once. There are times when I'm sitting out because I need more information. So I really like the idea of this gap. So really, it's this fair value gap, but you got to include the volume imbalance, and there's another volume imbalance. So I'm just going to call this event horizon and just use that. And we just about dug up into that midway point there, which is pretty sweet. So if we're going to use this as a bullish breaker here, that would be something we're going to label and have this on your chart. If you're not transferring the levels that I give to you on your chart, you're likely wondering what you're even doing here. Just put the levels on your charts and watch price in your time frames that you like, sub 1 hour, but try to be more than a 5 minute, like between a 5 minute and a 1 hour chart. Really study what happens on these levels. So I was mentioning last night, like, our next spot to aim for would be this swing high here in the daily time frame, and that was labeled external range run. Typically when you start running out external range liquidity, it's really quick and really violent. So I'll blame that there. Now, when I gave you the update, we were just dangling with that, and then at London, in its perspective kill zone, it snapped out of control. That painted a picture for a pretty lame New York. So that's for your notes, because if you want to save yourself some heartache, you can tell how trashy your New York AM session and even PM session is going to be by London making such a dynamic range like that. That's the obvious one. We're like, oh, that's London doing things. I'm probably going to sit out today. And yeah, it was a good idea if you did. So if price action wants to do nothing for CPI, that would be all right. So we've got a continuation structure here, and depending on what we do tomorrow for CPI, I'm really interested in that information, because we could be getting a continuation model. If we were looking for order flow in the 5-minute chart, if we were in a trade, say we were in from our order block or this order block here, or even this one here, whatever, and you were looking for price action to engage, well, you'd want to see your PD arrays respectively hold support in your higher time frames. Well, what do we got here? So this is just below our breaker here. So that's a nice spot. We have this confirms and guarantees our fair value gap here. So I'm still really bullish now, just depending on where this closes. So let's just pretend for a second that it's tomorrow's update and we've closed that candle. That would be our fair value gap. And this is what I'd want to use to sync off of to get up into that external range run there. So just depending on what happens. I'm not like super duper gung-ho on looking for a trade. I am long on Bitcoin down here, and I'm looking for the weekly range. As far as NASDAQ's concerned, I had a lot of fun in here, and I'm just kind of like peacocking and trying not to destroy myself and all my awesome gains by playing in this garbage. And eventually you'll understand. You'll understand what it's like to protect capital. You'll live for it. You'll really want to do it. So, and that's about that. I don't really have much for you. It's more of like a study time. You might end up thriving where I lose my edge. You might end up finding something you like a lot, but that would take study time and not trade time. So tomorrow I'll be looking for a bottom here and a bottom here. So depending on what time that happens will tell me if I'm holding for a time stop for about 3 to 4 p.m. depending on what happens. Again, I'm not dying to trade, but if it's obvious, I'm going to take something. And that should just be standard. And thank you all for joining. God bless you all. Trade safe.